All right, well, good evening, everybody. We are coming to you live from the Southview Middle School here in Edina for the girls Section 2AA Swim and Dive Championship Night. My name is Sean Bodette, and I am here with Lloyd Larson. And we are going to be calling the meet for you this evening. For me, this is about as good as it gets for girls swim and dive. The Section 2AA meet features several teams that will be likely sending multiple swimmers to the state meet. And it should be a lot of really exciting swimming, a lot of fast times coming at you tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. A lot of the teams that are here will comprise some of the highest ranked teams in the state, and we're in for a good meet tonight.
As we go through the meet tonight, we'll be letting you know what some of the state cut times are. That's obviously the goal for these swimmers tonight, is to be going as fast or faster as that state cut time so they can continue their season into the following weekend here with the state meet. So we'll let you know what those are. I know last year at the Section 2AA meet, just as we're looking at our heat sheet, several section records were set by some swimmers that are still here, coming back this year for another season. And as I'm looking at some of the times from our prelims from Wednesday night, some of those section times are definitely within the grasp of some of these swimmers tonight. So it should be really fun to see if they can drop a bit of time and really push up on some of those marks. I know last year as well we had several All-American times achieved by some of the swimmers that'll be competing again tonight. So again, a lot of exciting swimming coming our way tonight, and you will definitely hear it from the crowd because we are at capacity here at Southview Middle School. It should be a really fun atmosphere for the meet.
Seniors, please go to the area between the pools and line up. Seniors from all the teams, please. Welcome to the Section 2AA Championship Swimming Finals between the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars, the Chanhassen Storm, the Chaska Hawks, the Eden Prairie Eagles, the Minnetonka Skippers, the Prior Lake Lakers, the Shakopee Sabres, and the Edina Hornets. A couple of notes before we begin. We would like to take a moment to recognize the 50th anniversary of the passing of Title IX legislation. Title IX opened the door. Open the door for female athletes to be able to participate in athletic programs on an equal playing field as their male counterparts. These amazing athletes who are competing tonight have this opportunity because of legislation that was passed 50 years ago, taking away the barriers for women's sports. Congratulations to all our female athletes. And thank you to all those women who helped pave the way 50 years ago. We'd also like to take a moment to honor and remember all of our military veterans as we celebrate Veterans Day today. We'd like to thank all of our veterans and active military members for your service that allows us to have the freedoms we experience today. At this time, we ask that any military veterans or active service members in the audience please stand so we can recognize you for your service. Thank you for all you have done for us. Now at this time, we would like to recognize the seniors from each team. I believe you are lined up. From Bloomington Jefferson, please step forward if you can. If there's room, step forward as we read your name. From Bloomington Jefferson, Catherine Boldenau, Aaron Forness, Aaron Hall, Mia Rayan, Claire Rightoff, Tiffany Tian, Abby Toe, and Nyla Truzzi. From Chanhassen, Emma McDaniel and Aaliyah Tay Brugge. From Chaska, Rachel Flannery, Greta Hansen, Addie Ross, Kiana Tardia, Ella Thompson, Bryn Vangen, and Lucy Wilson. From Eden Prairie, Maya Bond, Lily Cooper, Nora Jacobs, Merritt Miller, and Ellie Watanabe. From Minnetonka, Georgia Jorgensen, Tegan Kerber, Reagan Kitt, Maggie Rhodes, Ray Vaughn, and Erica Weeks. Seniors from Prior Lake, Sophie Church, Kylie Loline, Zella Lucas, Lillian McRoberts, Izzy Andrachek. Seniors from Shakopee, Lily Bankston, Amelie Gerard, Grace Van Sickle, and Haley Zellen. And the seniors from Edina, Sophia Klausman, Lauren Dewing, Ella Hall, Shantae Karimi, Katie McCarthy, Anna Schrag, and Natasha Zettler. Now, at this time, we ask that you all stand. Gentlemen, remove your hats as we honor our country with the playing of the national anthem. Swimming fans and fans of high school in general, we would like to remind you to practice good sportsmanship throughout the meet by being positive about your team and coaches and respecting the decisions of officials. When doing this, you enhance the atmosphere of the athletic event. The Minnesota State High School League thanks you for your cooperation and sportsmanship. Now taking their event number 1, the 200-yard medley relay. This is the championship final. In lane 1, Bloomington Jefferson, Catherine Boldenau, Claire Briest, Anna Sorensen, and Abby Toe. In lane 2, Edina, Frances Muir, Ella Hall, Hazel Dang, and Macy Malinsky. In lane 3, Prior Lake, Janessa Centers, Hallie Nelson, Zella Lucas, and Alex Peterson. In lane 4, Minnetonka, Annabelle Wenzel, Riley Hewlett, Maggie Rhodes, and Paige Dillon. In lane 5, Shakopee, Amelie Gerard, Olivia Wimberger, Haley Zellen, and Lexi Tippy. Lane 6, Chaska, Sophie Dahl, Greta Hansen, Addie Ross, and Kiana Tardia. In lane 7, Eden Prairie, Lilia Roberts, Ella Drews, Ellie Watanabe, and Sally Grakowski. And in lane 8, Jan Hassan, Chloe Kaufman, Samantha Lang, Allie Eisenberg, and Anna Schottler.
All right, we are off in our first event of this Section 2AA Girls Swimming Championships. Minnetonka is our top-seeded team, lane 4. Their prelim time from Wednesday, a few seconds ahead of the rest of the field. But we're going to have a good race in the middle of the pool with a few teams just slightly behind them. Medley relay, of course, we've got girls swimming all 4 strokes, 50 yards for each one of them. Moving into the breaststroke leg right now, Minnetonka. That is Riley Hewlett that has their team out to a lead ahead of Shakopee in lane number 5. That is Olivia Wimberger in for the Sabres right now. We've got Edina in lane 2 right there as well with the Sabres actually pulled ahead of them. Minnetonka still maintaining that lead. That's Maggie Rhodes in for the Minnetonka squad in lane 4 right now. Shakopee really moving up right now. Haley Zellen, no surprise to see her really pushing her team with that fly. And here we come down to the freestyle. These teams are looking for a 150.80 to make that state cut. That is the goal right now as we come down the final stretch. Minnetonka is Paige Dillon gonna pull that team in. Shakopee right there as well with Lexi Tippy bringing the anchor leg. And we have got some fast times getting put up right now. Top 4 teams all making that state cut under the 150.80. Minnetonka 145.62. You can see them on the screen there as you are looking at that. 150.80 was the cut, so our top 4, Tonka, Shakopee, Edina, Prior Lake, all making that state cut. And Lloyd maybe can talk to us a little bit about the importance of getting a relay for that state meet, getting that first that team to qualify right off the bat here as we get ready to transition to the next event.
Well, all the coaches are limited by only being permitted to put an athlete in 2 relays out of 3. So there's some strategy that goes into whether or not you've got a good chance with 4 different strokes or a little bit more with the freestyle, and then within the freestyle, whether you're stronger with the 50s or the 100s. And so they've got a decision to make right off the bat. As I'm sure our audience saw, that very competitive first relay, 4 teams making the state cut is very impressive, and certainly their underwater kicking, which is such a big part of the backstroke and the butterfly, that was lights out during that relay. Every team looked fantastic.
Our Minnetonka team, too, just looking at our time standards, fell into the All-American consideration with that 145.62, that All-America consideration time, 146.16. So Tonka coming in just under that time to get into that category. Event 2 coming up will be the 200 freestyle. So we'll have awards after each event too. You can see the girls coming up to the podium right now to accept their awards for that first event.
Now the results from the 200-yard relay. Finishing 8th with 159.94, Chanhassen. Oh, Chloe Kaufman, Samantha Lang, Allie Eisenberg, and Anna Schottler. Finishing 7th. Finishing 7th, Bloomington Jefferson with a time of 157.71. It's Catherine Boldenau, Claire Briest, Anna Sorensen, and Abby Toe. Oh. In 6th place, Chaska with a time of 153.34. Sophie Dahl, Greta Hansen, Addie Ross, and Kiana Targia. Now, in 5th place, Eden Prairie with a time of 152.47. Lilia Roberts, Ella Drewis, Sally Grakowski, and Ellie Watanabe. And they qualified, correct? In 4th place, with a state qualifying time of 149.49, Prior Lake. Janessa Centers, Hallie Nelson, Zella Lucas, and Alex Peterson. In 3rd place, Edina with a state qualifying time of 149.41. It's Frances Muir, Ella Hall, Hazel Deng, and Macy Malinsky. In 2nd place, Shakopee, qualifying for state with 147.65. Emily Gerard, Olivia Wimberger, Haley Zellen, and Lexi Tippy. And finishing 1st in Section 2AA, Minnetonka, with a time of 145.62. Annabelle Wenzel, Riley Hewlett, Maggie Rhodes, and Dylan Page. Congratulations. Our next event, the consolation heat for the 200-yard freestyle. In lane 1, Ray Vaughn, Minnetonka. In lane 2 for Minnetonka, Stella Succi. Lane 3 for Minnetonka, Vanessa Finucani Tuccio. Lane 4 for Edina, Sophia Klausman. In lane 5 for Edina, Anna Schrag. Lane 6 for Prior Lake, Natalie Kubashek. In lane 7 for Shakopee, Brooklyn Schumacher. And in lane 8 for Chaska, Courtney Rabine.
All right, we are off for the consolation heat in our 200 freestyle event. The state cut that the girls are working toward is a 155.47. And Lloyd, as I'm watching this event, every meet that I go to, I always imagine that the pacing in the 200 is something that these swimmers are really thinking about as they are working toward that goal time that they're trying to hit.
It sure is. This is an event that's considered a long sprint. The middle of the race is very important, finding a good, easy speed, stroke rate that you can maintain without burning yourself out. Typically, the third 50 is the truth teller, and there are several girls right here in the middle of this second 50 who are all neck and neck. So they're pacing it quite well.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to watch this final 100 here as we are watching the middle of the pool, see if these girls can separate themselves a bit and keep pushing. We do have a couple of girls that on Wednesday night were not too far off that 155.47, and I imagine that is in their sights and that is their goal right now, is to push it to get to that time. Right now in lane number 5 and 4, look at that, we have 3 that are almost going together, but we've got Sophia Klausman, Anna Schrag, and 4 and 5 really turning it over here, trying to bring it home to get that cut.
Coming out of this last turn, they're going to be kicking hard and putting their head down.
Sophia Klausman, Anna Schrag right now coming to the wall with a couple seconds to go here. And we've got...
Yeah, they both got it.
Both of them.
They both got it.
And Sophia, what a race. What a race for those two in the middle of the pool. Anna Schrag, Sophia Klausman, both coming in under that 155.47. Sophia just a tenth of a second to spare. What a great effort by those two Edina swimmers.
Highly unusual at any of these section meets to have qualifiers from the consolation heat, and even more unusual for multiple qualifiers. That really shows the strength of the section.
Lane 2 for Chanhassen, Rachel Broadhead. Lane 3 for Prior Lake, Ivy Solt. Lane 4 for Shakopee, Aries Ellen. Lane 5 for Chanhassen, Avery Lutke. Lane 6 for Minnetonka, Lydia Cameron. Lane 7 for Edina, Anya Naimo. And in lane 8 for Edina, Audrey Peterson. The qualifying time for state in this event is 155.47.
All right, here we go. Championship heat all of the girls in this heat. Several had a time faster than the state cut Wednesday night. Of course, they got to do it again tonight to officially make that meet, but those two girls from that first heat dropped about a second and a half off their time from Wednesday night. And Lloyd being around the pool as much as he had been, how much does the adrenaline and the people in the pool and the atmosphere of this really play into how these girls are going to do?
Well, it's hugely important because in high school swimming, you've got to do it on the day. You've got to qualify in a specific session on a specific day. And while there is a time standard advancement possibility, it has to occur on a certain day. So that heightened emotion is a big part of it. And no doubt, having the opportunity to make the cut, even in the consolation heat, is very real at these section meets. So hats off to those young ladies. And now we've got another heat, all of whom after that first 100 are in a position to potentially make it. Looking at the previous heat, everyone is tight on the pace.
Ari Zellen right now is your leader in the middle of the pool. Ivy Solt in lane 3, close behind her. Lane 5, Avery Ludke, all three of them pushing. Ari Zellen wasn't too far off the section record time on Wednesday night, so we'll see coming home here with just a little bit to go if she's able to get that number. Ari Zellen at the 150.57 is going to be your champ. So it looks like we have our top 4 swimmers from the championship heat making that cut for that state meet. Zellen, Ludke, Solt, Cameron, all right across the middle of the pool. All 4 of those swimmers coming in under that 155.47. Again, great effort by all of these swimmers in that 200 freestyle. What a great start to the individual events tonight. I think it's a good picture for those of you watching of what we're going to get to see tonight. To Lloyd's earlier point, to see this many swimmers already making state qualifying times gives you a real good idea how strong this section is and how strong these programs are year after year in this section.
Yeah, that 200 freestyle, that was 3 sophomores and a 9th grader, all at the outset of their high school swimming careers, all qualifying in that 200 freestyle. That's an impressive heat.
First, the consolation results in the 200 free. Finishing 16th with a time of 1:59.52 from Minnetonka, Ray Vaughn. In 15th from Chaska with a time of 1:58.71, Courtney Rabine. In 14th from Shakopee with a time of 1:58.17, Brooklyn Schumacher. In 13th from Prior Lake, time 1:56.97, Natalie Kubashek. In 12th from Minnetonka, time 1:56.73, Stella Succi. In 11th with a time of 1:56.59, Vanessa Finucane Tuccio. In 10th with a state qualifying time of 1:55.37 from Edina, Sophia Klausman. And in 9th from Edina with a state qualifying time of 1:55.10, Anna Schrag. Awarding the medals for the championship heat is Coach Jenny Carlson. In 8th place from Chanhassen, time 1:59.13, Rachel Broadhead. 7th place from Prior Lake with 157.33, Izzy Andrachek. In 6th place from Edina with a 156.70, Anya Naimo. In 5th place from Edina, 156.08, Audrey Peterson. In 4th place from Minnetonka with a state qualifying time of 154.78, Lydia Cameron. In 3rd place from Briar Lake with a state qualifying time of 151.52, Ivy Solt. In 2nd place from Chanhassen with a time of 151 flat, Avery Ludke. And our Section 2AA champion from Shakopee with a time of 150.57, Ari Zellen. Next event, event number 3, the 200-yard international medley. First, the consolation heat. In lane 1 from Jefferson, Claire Briest. Lane 2 for Edina, Eleanor Hughes. In lane 3 for Minnetonka, Paige Olson. Lane 4 for Chaska, Greta Hansen. Lane 5 for Prior Lake, Lillian McRoberts. Lane 6 for Chanhassen, Sophie Dahl. Chaska. In lane 7 for Chanhassen, Allie Eisenberg. And in lane 8 for Prior Lake, Lisa Evavold. The state qualifying time in this event is 2:05:17. It's 2:10:57. That's a little easier.
2:10:57 our qualifying time for this event. 200 individual medley is event number 3. This will be our consolation heat. All right, and we are off for the consolation heat. 200 IM, of course, 50 yards of each of the 4 strokes. And Lloyd, the one thing I always think about for this event is what's going through the swimmer's brain and body when they have maybe some strokes that they know they're a little bit stronger at. How does that all play out for them as they're preparing for this difficult event?
Well, some of that depends on the swimmer. Most swimmers have 2 or 3 strong strokes if they're an IMer, and usually there's one that they've got to work on. And I think that individually they make a decision whether or not they're going to lean into that 3 or 2 strokes they're really great at, or if they're going to maybe save a little energy for the strokes they're not as good at, so that those don't hold them back. So that's a very individual decision. I know that with the swimmers and the butterfly and the backstroke, if they are not as strong in those, they usually have to take those out a little faster than they normally would comfortably, because the front forward start and fly is so critically important, they can't avoid it. Now, swimmers who aren't as good at the breaststroke or the freestyle, they've got to decide how much to throw in on the fly and the back. So some of that will depend on the individual swimmer.
And one of the more entertaining things about this 2IM, and you're seeing it right now, is for me when I watch these meets, there seem to be more lead changes as we go throughout the event, and we're seeing that right now as things have shifted here as we go from into the breaststroke now into the freestyle portion of the race. Right now, Eleanor Hughes, because of that breaststroke leg, has got a lead as she turns into the freestyle here, but we can see the swimmers right across the middle of the pool really chasing her down. So this is going to be an exciting finish here. Eleanor Hughes trying to hang on. 2:10:57 is our state cut time as they come to the wall, and Eleanor is going to take this consolation heat at that 2:12:79. Great effort across the lanes for this first heat of this event, also showing the difficulty in this 2IM in getting to that state cut time. It seems to be a more challenging event for these swimmers to maybe hit that time.
Yeah, big 5-second improvement for Eleanor Hughes from preliminaries on Wednesday night till tonight. 5 seconds is an incredible improvement in 2 days. Congratulations to her.
Now the championship heat in the 200-yard free. Lane 1 from Prior Lake, Izzy Andrachek. The championship heat, 200-yard IM. In lane 1 from Edina, Sarah Reichert. Lane 2 from Edina, Frances Muir. Lane 3 from Minnetonka, Sarah Hurley. In lane 4 from Edina, Katie McCarthy. In lane 5 from Prior Lake, Zella Lucas. Lane 6 from Shakopee, Olivia Wimberger. Lane 7 from Minnetonka, Erilyn Vogel. And lane 8 from Minnetonka, Natalie Hendricks.
All right, we are off championship heat. 4 of these swimmers, Hurley, McCarthy, Lucas, and Wimberger in lanes 3 through 6, all were hovering right around that state cut time in our prelims on Wednesday. So we'll watch those 4 right across the middle and see if anybody else is able to push it right up to that time as well as we go through this event.
Katie McCarthy in lane 4, not wearing a tech suit, wearing a normal team suit, and that shows the strength of this swimmer and really this entire meet. Coming to a championship like this and wearing a regular suit like that, that's not very often does that happen.
So McCarthy and Zella Lucas right now, both swimmers that are no stranger to the state meet. Both have been state qualifiers before, and I believe McCarthy's been state champion in some events in the past. Is that right, Lloyd?
Yeah, that's right. She's a multiple state champion in other events. I don't believe that she swam this event last year, and so this might be new for Katie, but she's obviously a very strong swimmer. Recently signed a national letter of intent with the University of Minnesota, so a lot of big swimming coming up for Katie.
So McCarthy and Lucas coming back to the wall here. They'll be turning over to freestyle. McCarthy with a slight edge over Zella. And we've got a few swimmers, lanes 2, 3, 6. We've got Muir, Hurley, Wimberger all turning as well on the heels of Lucas. So we will be watching to see here in this freestyle leg if they can really make that time of 2:10:57. McCarthy with a sizable lead as we come to the wall, and this is going to be a really impressive time here from Katie as she touches at the 2:04:31. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. Five swimmers making the cut. Great effort again across the pool, and Katie McCarthy with that 2:04:31. Lloyd mentioned no tech suit, also about a 4-second drop from what she did on Wednesday night. Zella Lucas with a couple second drop as well. What an impressive swim by these girls in that 200 IM. Again, difficult event, 200 yards. Got to have the ability to get through all 4 of those strokes. So congratulations to those swimmers on an amazing swim right there.
Yeah, 5 qualifiers, and the number 6 place swimmer missed it by only 3/100ths of a second. So very, very impressive heat again.
The results from the consolation heat. Finishing 16th from Prior Lake with 2:22.55, Lisa Evavold. 15th from Chanhassen with 2:17.86, Allie Eisenberg. In 14th from Chanhassen with 2:17.51, Sophie Dahl. In 13th from Jefferson with 2:17.40, Claire Briest. In 12th place from Chanhassen with 2:13.85, Greta Hansen. In 11th from Minnetonka at 2:13.72, Paige Olson. And in 10th place from Briar Lake at 2:13.52, Lillian McRoberts. In 9th, Eleanor from Edina with 2:12.79, Eleanor Hughes. Handing out the awards for the championship is Edina coach Jeff Mace. Finishing 8th from Minnetonka with 2:11.74, Natalie Hendricks. Finishing 7th from Minnetonka with 2:10.85, Erilyn Vogel. Finishing 6th from Edina with 2:10.60, Sarah Reichert. Finishing 5th from Shakopee with a 2:09.87, Olivia Wimberger. Finishing 4th from Minnetonka with a 2:09.27, Sarah Hurley. Those last two are state qualifying times, as is this from Edina at 2:08.43, Frances Muir. From Prior Lake with a state qualifying 2:06.82, Zella Lucas. And the championship first place from Edina with a 2:04.31 state qualifying, Katie McCarthy. Next event number 4, the 50-yard freestyle. In the consolation heat, in lane 1 for Edina, Hazel Deng. Lane 2 for Edina, Macy Malinsky. Lane 3 for Prior Lake, Alex Peterson. Lane 4 for Shakopee, Lexi Tippy. Lane 5 for Minnetonka, Lily Koval. Lane 6 for Minnetonka, Gracie Bartholomew. Lane 7 for Chanhassen, Anna Schottler. And lane 8 for Chanhassen, Mia Francois. The state qualifying time in this event is 24:49.
All right, so 24:49 is the time goal for the girls. Consolation heat coming up. All right, they are off. And Lloyd, 50 freestyle, shortest event, sprint. How important is the start in this event for these girls?
The start and the turn are the whole game in the 50 free. Across the top of the water, many swimmers are equal, but start and turn is where it's won or lost.
And what a race right here as they come across. Alex Peterson, 24:39, is going to be the consolation winner, and that is going to be good enough to get to the state meet, and Alex looks
And now
like
the
the
championship
lone
heat in the 50-yard
qualifying
free.
time from that
Lane
consolation heat. Great swim for Alex. Congrats to her.
Keep going. In the championship heat, lane 1 for Minnetonka, Riley Hewlett. In lane 2 for Prior Lake, Hallie Nelson. In lane 3 for Chanhassen, Jennifer Pearson. In lane 7 for Shakopee, Haley Zellen. In lane 5 for Edina, Libby McCarthy. In lane 6 for Shakopee, Erica Schroeder. In lane 7 for Minnetonka, Kendall Schindler. And in lane 8 for Edina, Ella Hall. Once again, the qualifying time for state is 24:49.
All right, here we go with our championship heat. All 8 of these swimmers with the potential to get that cut at 24:49 based on prelims on Wednesday. So this should be really fun, Lloyd, to see how this goes.
All 8 swimmers with a terrific start. Every single one of them broke out fast.
You can see how tight this race is, how evenly matched these swimmers are. That is Haley Zellen pulling out in the middle of the pool into the lead. Haley is going to be your section champ at the 23:33. And it looks like we got 6 of the 8 coming in with a state qualifying time. So 7 girls getting state cuts total in this 50 freestyle event. Again, amazing to watch these athletes get in the pool and get those cuts.
6 in this heat.
Yeah, 6 swimmers from that championship heat making that state cut. 6 out of the 8. Again, congrats to the group. But again, watching those starts and turns in that 50 free, just even a 1/10 of a second in some cases we've seen can make a huge difference in those sprint events. And we've got 100-yard events coming up soon here after we have a bit of a break. Again, that start and turn, hugely important for these girls. That's why they spend so much time, I imagine, working on those at their practices.
Yeah, Haley Zellen not only had a great turn, but had really good depth under the water coming out of that turn. There's a draft of water, a vortex of water that follows the athletes into the turn, and it's always a dicey decision how deep to go. Do you go really deep and get near the bottom of the pool, or just deep enough to clear that wave, that vortex that's following you? And she got under that just right. She came up completely clean behind that wave of water.
And Zellen's 23:33 also put her in the All-American consideration category. So again, congrats to Haley on a wonderful swim there. Your section champ for the 50 freestyle. So it looks like we'll probably be doing the awards for the 50 free at the end of our break. Again, in a
results
typical,
from the consolation heat
results.
first. In 16th from Chanhassen at 25:62, Mia Francois. In 15th from Edina at 25:49, Hazel Deng. In 14th from Chanhassen with a 25:27, Anna Schottler. In 13th from Minnetonka with a 25:12, Gracie Bartholomew. In 12th place from Minnetonka with a 24:95, Lily Koval. In 11th place from Shakopee, Lexi Tippy with a 24:86. In 10th place from Edina with a 24:83, Macy Malinsky. And from Prior Lake with a state qualifying time of 24:39, Alex Peterson. Okay. Now the championship heat. Finishing 8th from Minnetonka at 24:74, Riley Hewlett. In 7th from Shakopee at a 24:62, Erica Schroeder. In 6th place from Prior Lake, state qualifier at 24:19, Allie Nelson. In a tie for 4th place, first from Chanhassen with a state qualifying 24:17, Jennifer Pearson. Also in 4th place with 24:17, a state qualifier from Edina, Ella Hall. In 3rd place from Minnetonka at 23:79, Kendall Schindler. In 2nd place from Edina, a state qualifying 23.6, Libby McCarthy. And in 1st place from Shakopee, state qualifying a new pool record and in consideration for All-American honors, Haley Zellen with a 23.33.
So again, congrats to Haley Zellen. Pool record in addition to the state time, the section win, and the All-American consideration.
Now there will be a 15-minute break before we go to the 100 fly. 15 minutes.
So we're going to have a 15-minute break right now, but to those of you that are tuning in and listening, stay tuned in because we're going to have a special guest here that many of you will recognize while we go through this diving break. So again, stay tuned, and we'll have a bit of an interview going.
Well, while we're on the break today, we've got a guest that's joining us. The longtime Edina High School boys coach, Art Downey, is with us today. Art was my coach in the 70s and early 80s, and I believe that Art's been to every high school girls state meet since its inception. And Art, have you been to every section meet the girls have had?
Probably. I'm not positive, but I don't miss them if I can help it. That's for sure. They're very exciting, very great swimming, as we're seeing today.
Well, it's always fun to have the namesake of the pool here in the house, and my understanding was when you came in, another coach from within the section asked you if they make you to pay for a ticket in your own pool that's named after you. Did you have to pay for a ticket?
Never. No. Along with probably goes with being a coach, you tend to be a little thrifty, so I'm on the thrifty side. I come in on the pool deck.
Well, it's a great thing to have you here. And actually, that brings up a question. What year was the first year of the girls' high school state meet? What year did they start that?
Well, that's an interesting history of Minnesota swimming, because I'm not sure of the exact years, but the girls' swimming might have been the same beginning time as boys, or maybe even ahead of boys, because up on the iron range in those days, the iron companies built palace-type pool schools with fancy pools, and girls had swimming, I believe, back into the 1940s at least, and maybe the 1930s. I'm not sure on those dates, but girls swimming was very strong in the northern part of the state. I don't know that there were any city schools that had teams or not, but so then when World War II came along, somewhere in there they got the idea that girls weren't supposed to do sports, and they were too feminine. They weren't supposed to do it, and somehow it got dropped. And so there was a period of time when there was no girls swimming. Then it restarted again after that Title IX. And of interest, there was a lady from the Iron Range that swam on the United States Olympic team, and I couldn't tell you the year, but it was way back in the 1930s probably.
Yeah, that's a long history of swimming, especially in a part of the country where we're under snow for several months each year. And indeed, this is the 50th anniversary of Title IX, and our announcer made mention of that today when we got started, and a rich history of swimming in Minnesota. And I think that these sections have all become far, far more competitive in the last 10 or 15 years. Multiple qualifiers under the time standard in both consolation and championship finals, and that's an impressive meet to come watch.
Yeah, that's really true in this. Was it Section 2 this year?
Section 2,
Section 2 this year. Over the years, we've been in Section 5 and 6, I think, probably mostly, but Edina has been in. Edina is in Section 2. And it doesn't matter what section you're in. The section we came from was the same as this one. The winners are making the state, and all kinds of people making state cuts in the first heat, the console heat, and as well as the finals heat. So, yeah, girls swimming is really going great.
Well, Art, it's always a pleasure to have you here, and multiple Halls of Fame honoree Art Downey today. Thanks for coming.
Oh, my pleasure, Lloyd. Always good to see you. And your announcer, Lloyd, he was one of those guys that really swam hard.
I might have swam hard, but I don't know if I had that much talent. You brought it out in me, that's for sure.
You did very well, very well.
Well, thanks, Art.
would diver Tegan Kerber from Minnetonka. Tegan, please come over by the other divers on the right front side of the pool. At this time, we would like to announce the results from last night's diving competition. Finishing 16th from Chaska with a score of 239.05, Marcy Nelson. 15th from Shakopee with a score of 253.55, Grace Van Sickle. 14th from Minnetonka with 272.65, Courtney Raish. 13th from Shakopee, score 273.9, Ellie Leisure. In 12th from Chaska at 274.05, Maddie Edwards. In 11th from Briar Lake with 287.55, Charlotte Clark. Finishing 10th last night from Briar Lake, 297.3, Sophie Church. In 9th from Edina, 304.45, Emmy Kaiser. In 8th from Minnetonka, 309.8, Tegan Kerber. From Briar Lake with a 321 flat, Heidi Claverkamp. In 6th from Chanhassen. Oh.
These are diving awards today. Diving finals and semis and preliminaries were yesterday.
Again in 8th, Tegan Kerber from Minnetonka with a 309.8. In 7th, from Briar Lake with a 321 flat, Heidi Claverkamp. In 6th, from Chanhassen with 350.05, Alea Tabrugi. In 5th place, from Minnetonka with 354.15, Janelle Love. The top 4 places advance to the state meet. And they are in 4th place from Chaska with a 3:69.35, Bryn Vangen. Finishing 3rd from Edina with 3:74.4, Zara Karimi. Finishing 2nd from Prior Lake with 3:91.10, Anna Kundiff. And in 1st place, the winner of Section 2 AA from Edina with a score of 4:18.9, Shanse Karimi. Congratulations. Now the next event number 6, the 100-yard butterfly. The first consolation heat. In lane 1 from Edina, Lauren Dewing. Lane 2 from Edina, Natasha Zettler. Lane 3 for Shakopee, Amelie Girard. Lane 4 from Minnetonka, Reagan Kitt. In lane 5 from Edina, Hazel Deng. In lane 6 from Shakopee, Adriana Gorder. In lane 7 from Edina, Janie Siedschlag. And in lane 8 from Chanhassen, Chloe Kaufman. The state qualifying time in this event is 58.4.
All right, we are back in action here. This is our consolation heat of our 100-yard butterfly. 58.40 is the state cut time. And Lloyd, every time I watch one of these fly events, I always wonder kind of what's the, if you can narrow it down to one or two things, kind of what's the key to this stroke and these athletes being able to really move through the water in this butterfly.
It's all about timing, timing the hands and the feet. 2 kicks for each stroke, timing the exhalation of the breath so that you're prepared to take another one in when you bring your chin forward. If you've got good timing, you can swim the butterfly.
So right now, Lauren Dewing, lane 1, we typically see our fastest swimmers coming in the middle of the pool. She was there, but right now we're down to 5. Hazel Dang from Edina. Looks like she's coming in right next to her, Reagan Kitt of Minnetonka, and they do go 1-2. Both coming in under a minute at a 59.48, 59.60. Nice time drop for those two swimmers right in the middle of the pool there, breaking that 1 minute mark. Nice swim for Hazel and Reagan.
Now the championship heat in the 100 fly. In lane 1 from Prior Lake, Janessa Centers. Lane 2 for Prior Lake, Alex Peterson. In lane 3 for Minnetonka, Maggie Rhodes. In lane 4 for Shakopee, Haley Zellen. In lane 5 for Minnetonka, Annabelle Wenzel. In lane 6 for Prior Lake, Zella Lucas. In lane 7 for Minnetonka, Sarah Hurley. And in lane 8 for Chanhassen, Rachel Broadhead. Again, the qualifying time for state is 58:40.
Those aren't right. All right, here we go. Championship heat. Again, center of the pool, lanes 3, 4, 5, where we have our fastest seated swimmers. Maggie Rhodes, Annabelle Wenzel, both from Minnetonka, both on that 200 medley relay team that had the state qualifying time earlier. Haley Zellen. We've already seen what she can do in the pool, and so this should be a really fun final 50 here as the girls are really tight coming into that second 50 as we head toward the 75 and then the finish.
Annabelle Wenzel with an incredibly fast start, not just the first 50 split, but right off the blocks right away, going for it.
So here we go, coming down the stretch. Wenzel and Zellen coming neck and neck down the stretch. Wenzel has got a slight lead, and Annabelle Wenzel coming to the wall. This is going to be really tight. But Annabelle Wenzel does grab it, a 54.05, your section champion. Again, 58.40 is our state cut. So we've got our top 4 swimmers in this heat making that state final. 54.05 from Annabelle Wenzel, lane 5, Minnetonka. Looks to me like a new Section 2AA record and an automatic All-American time at that 54.05. So congratulations to Annabelle Wenzel on an amazing swim right there in that 100 butterfly.
Yeah, Annabelle came out smoking right off the blocks right away, just tore right into it, did not hold back a thing. And, you know, you always are concerned, even in a 100-yard event, whether somebody might burn themselves out, but she did not. In fact, she pulled away a little bit in that last 10 yards. Very impressive race.
Yeah, 1.6 second drop for Annabelle, even from the prelims. And Lloyd, as we're waiting for the awards for this one, how does sometimes we see that a 1 or 2 second drop just from 2 nights ago? In my mind, I wonder, how's that possible, right? We came out in prelims and had this great time, and we come out 2 nights later and drop a couple seconds in a very short event.
Well, one of the things that happens in these meets that have a separation of prelims and finals on separate days, you get some time in between the 2 racing days to swim out some of that lactic acid on the day in between, to replenish and recharge a little bit. So it's a real advantage being able to separate the prelims and finals by a day in between. Now, it won't be that way at the state meet. State meet, it's prelims on one day and finals the next, but that's a great advantage during section competition.
In 11th, from Edina, with 1 minute .88, Lauren Dewing. In 10th place, also from Edina, with a 59.60, Hazel Dang. In 9th place from Minnetonka at 59.48, Reagan Kitt. Now the results of the championship heat. Finishing 8th from Prior Lake with a 1 minute .62, Janessa Centers. Finishing 7th from Chanhassen with a 1 minute .42, Rachel Broadhead. Finishing 6th from Prior Lake with a 59.10, Alex Peterson. Finishing 5th from Minnetonka with 58.75, Sarah Hurley. Finishing 4th from Prior Lake, a state qualifying 56.13, Zella Lucas. In 3rd place from Minnetonka, a state qualifying 55.69, Maggie Rhodes. Finishing 2nd from Shakopee, state qualifying and All-America consideration, 54.66, Haley Zellen. And the Section 2AA champion from Minnetonka with an automatic All-American spot, a pool record, and a meet record. 54.05, Annabelle Wenzel. Next event, event number 7, the 100-yard freestyle. First, the consolation heat. In lane 1 from Shakopee, Brooklyn Schumacher. Lane 2 from Eden Prairie, Ella Drews. Lane 3 from Edina, Sarah Reichert. Lane 4 from Minnetonka, Erilyn Vogel. Lane 5 from Shakopee, Lexi Tippy. In lane 6 from Minnetonka, Lily Koval. In lane 7 from Minnetonka, Ray Vaughn. And in lane 8 from Chanhassen, Mia Francois. The state qualifying time is 53:68.
All right, 100 freestyle, next event, 53:68 is the state qualifying time. All right, we are off consolation heat for the 100 freestyle. And Lloyd, as we watch this consolation heat get started, can you compare the 50 to the 100? Is this just a longer sprint, or what's different for the swimmers as they're swimming the 100?
There's going to be a little strategy on the opening 50. You got to be a little careful that you've got some oxygen. It used to be that reducing the number of breaths was favorable, and conventional wisdom was to take as few as possible. That's no longer the case. Now oxygenating appropriately on the opening 50 is a lot more important. And as the underwater work has become increasingly important, we see that now. We're not afraid of taking too many breaths and being a little careful on the first 50.
All right, Erilyn Vogel coming in here right on that number. It's going to be close for her, and she does get it, a 53:34. Right in the middle of the pool there for Minnetonka is going to get her under that state qualifying time by about 0.3 of a second. Great swim by Erilyn.
Now the second heat, the championship heat. In lane 1 for Edina, Macy Malinsky. Lane 2 for Prior Lake, Hallie Nelson. In lane 3 for Chanhassen, Jennifer Pearson. In lane 4 for Shakopee, Ari Zellen. In lane 5 for Minnetonka, Paige Dillon. In lane 6 for Edina, Libby McCarthy. In lane 7 for Edina, Anna Schrag. And in lane 8 for Shakopee, Erica Schroeder. Again, the state qualifying time is 53:68.
All right, we are off for the championship heat. Ari Zellen, lane 4 for Shakopee. Off to a good start. Her sister Haley, who we've seen swim tonight, is the section record holder in this event at a 50.62. That's right around where Ari was. We could see, Lloyd, all eight of these swimmers were near that state qualifying time on Wednesday. What are you seeing here after 50?
Well, at the 50, they're all in the neighborhood of being able to qualify. This could be an event where all 8 of the top heat might qualify. We'll have to see, obviously, what happens, but they all took it out fast enough.
Ari Zellen, your leader right now as we come down the stretch. She's having a great swim in this 100 free. We're going to see how these times come out. Ari's going to grab that top spot at the 50.69. So it looks like we got our top 6 of the 8, lanes 2 through 7, all coming in under that 53.68. Again, just phenomenal swimming by these girls in this 100 freestyle. That 50.69 from Ari Zellen. The section record is 50.62. She was right there, but she does fall under that All-American consideration at 50.69. So congrats to Ari on a fantastic 100 free, and all the swimmers. Again, what a great race. We are through event number 7, and we just keep seeing the state qualifying times pile up for all these athletes and these teams. Been really, really fun to see so far.
Yeah, very competitive section. When you look at the 100 free, you've got 3 girls at 52, then a 51, then a 50 point, a 53.0. That's quite a number of sprinters all clustered in within about a second and a half. That's a really strong field.
In the 100-yard free, finishing 16th with 55.61 from Minnetonka, Lily Koval. And 15th from Chanhassen, 55.58. Mia Francois. In 14th from Shakopee with a 55.38, Brooklyn Schumacher. In 13th from Minnetonka with 54.86, Ray Vaughn. In 12th place from Edina, a 54.58, Sarah Reichert. In 11th from Shakopee with a 54.20, Lexi Tippy. In 10th place from Eden Prairie with a 54.10, Ella Drews. And in 9th place from Minnetonka, a state qualifying time of 53.34, Erilyn Vogel. Now from the championship heat. In 8th place from Shakopee with a 54.45, Erica Schroeder. In 7th place from Edina with a 54.29, Macy Malinsky. In 6th place from Edina with a 53.03, Anna Schrag. In 5th place from Briar Lake with a 52.98, Hallie Nelson. In 4th place from Chanhassen with a 52.49, Jennifer Pearson. That was a state qualifying time, as is the 3rd place, Minnetonka with a 52.40, Paige Dillon. In 2nd place with a state qualifying 51.89 from Edina, Libby McCarthy. And the Section 2 AA champion from Shakopee with a state qualifying time and a new pool record, beating the record just set Wednesday, a 50.69, Ari Zellen. Now we have the team scores through the last event. In 8th place, Bloomington Jefferson with 28 points. In 7th place, Eden Prairie with 35. In 6th place with 57, Chaska. In 5th place with 116.5, Chanhassen. In 4th place with 177, Shakopee. In 3rd place with 204 points, Prior Lake. In 2nd place with 264 points, Minnetonka. And in 1st place with 283.5, Edina. The next event, event number 8, the 500-yard freestyle. Consolation heat in lane 1 from Chanhassen, Samantha Lang. Lane 2 from Edina, Olivia Brinkman. In lane 3 from Edina, Anya Naimo. In lane 4 from Prior Lake, Izzy Andrachek. In lane 5 from Chaska, Courtney Rabine. In lane 6 from Prior Lake, Natalie Kubashek. In lane 7 from Chaska, Addie Ross. And in lane 8 from Minnetonka, Elizabeth Weeder. The state qualifying time in the 500 is 4 minutes, 51 seconds, .19.
All right, 500
Excuse
freestyle.
me, that was the record.
Event number
It's
8 is
easier
our
than
next
that.
event coming up.
5:10:24.
There we go.
Is the state qualifying
There's our
time.
correction on the qualifying
5:10:24.
time. 5:10:24, and we definitely have a couple of swimmers in this consolation heat that could get to that mark. All right, we are off. Consolation heat, 500-yard freestyle, our distance event for the meet. And Lloyd, this is one where, as I've watched swim meets over the years, I have some questions that maybe some other listeners do as well. Number one, talk to us a little bit about the counters down at the end of the pool, because that's unique to the 500. But maybe a little bit about when we see the signs go upside down, side to side, shake up and down. Are those consistent? Are those what are they telling their teammates as they make their way down to that end of the pool?
Well, the lap counters that are used to aid the swimmer in counting their lengths can also be used to signal various things to the swimmer. It's a way for the coach to communicate to the athlete, and each coach kind of has their own series of signals, either moving the cards up and down or side to side, or turning them upside down. Some coaches will do that as well. And each of those little signals are ways for the coach to communicate pieces of information to the athlete, because electronic devices are not permitted. So you can't have a microphone or a speaker behind the swimmer's ear. So one way to do that, because they are in the medium of water, is use those lap counters as ways to give them some cues about how the race is going. Most common is shaking the cards up and down so the swimmer knows to pick up their stroke rate. There are other signals for increase their kicking or to relax their stroke rate a little bit. And so the coach will come up with a kind of a code, if you will, not unlike baseball, with signals with the first and third base coach to decide whether or not you're going to take a steal or bunt. Same thing here with the lap counters.
So as we're closing in here on the halfway point right now, Izzy Androck from Prior Lake in lane 4 is the current leader. Lane 3 next to her, that is Anya Naimo from Edina. Courtney Rabine from Chaska is in lane 5. And looking at the state cut time, Lloyd, of a 5:10:24, as these girls come in at the halfway point, what are you seeing on their splits here?
Well, as they come in here at the halfway, you got to remember that first 100 that was off the blocks, and they were fresh. So the pace doesn't necessarily have to be 10:50s, divided by the cut time. Usually a 31 or a 32 low will get it done in the middle of the race, because they're all going to start off under a minute, which they did. So we will see how many can hold that pace over the next 2 or 3 50s, which are critical from that halfway point to about lap counter 15.
So Izzy Androck, middle of the pool, Prior Lake, lane 4. Izzy's prelim time was just about 5 seconds off. Izzy's was only about a second and a half off that state cut time. So as we're going through, are we going to see Izzy these final 150 or so? Is this when is she, in your estimation, going to really start picking up that pace here?
Well, she'll have to pick up the pace a little bit when she sees number 15, and one way we'll see that from all the kids when they're starting to pick up the pace is we'll see their feet come up higher in the water when they start to kick a little bit more. Not only their stroke rate will pick up, but when they come off the walls, they'll push a little farther and a little harder, and we're going to see that right about now.
So here comes Izzy now coming back down, and we just saw her teammate give that sign a shake, letting Izzy know that stroke rate needs to pick up a little bit. And as she makes this turn, she's going to have 100 to go, and we'll see how Izzy Andrak turns things up here for this final 100. See if she can make that cut of the 5:10.24.
Yeah, she's right on the edge with that. She was at 31 middle and then slid up a little bit to 31.9 on that last one. It's going to be real close for her. Obviously, the counter that was upside down, they put an upside down 17 there for her, so she knows she's close.
All right, so Izzy Andrak, when she comes to the wall here, we're going to hear that bell signaling that we've got 50 to go. Izzy Andrak is sitting at a 4:43.0 here with the 50 left. Izzy Andrak hitting the wall now, 25 to go. We'll see if she's able to get to that mark of the 5:10.24. Crowd really picking it up for Izzy here, trying to help her get that final push. And she comes in with a great swim, 5:11.19.
Great race.
Great swim.
Great race,
by
30
Izzy
point.
Andrak. Great effort by her and all these swimmers in this 500 across the pool. What a wonderful swim for all of these girls coming in with some amazing times for a 500.
Now heat 2 in the 500 free, the championship final. In lane 1 for Eden Prairie, Lilia Roberts. In lane 2 for Minnetonka, Lydia Cameron. In lane 3 for Chanhassen, Avery Lidke. In lane 4 for Prior Lake, Ivy Solt. In lane 5 for Edina, Katie McCarthy. Lane 6 for Minnetonka, Stella Succi. In lane 7 for Edina, Frances Muir. And in lane 8 for Minnetonka, Erica Weeks. Again, the state qualifying time is 5 minutes, 10.24 seconds.
All right, we are off for our championship heat of this 500 freestyle. 5:10.24 again is the time for that state qualifier. And looking at prelim times, every one of the girls that is in this championship heat was either right around that 5:10.24 or better in the Wednesday prelims. We've got Katie McCarthy swimming in lane number 5 for Edina. Katie is the current section record holder. We've seen Katie swim this event many times over the years. Next to her in lane 4 is Ivy Solt. Ivy went a sub 5-minute time during the prelims. She's from Prior Lake. It'll be fun to see how those two maintain their pace. And Lloyd, just talk a little bit about the start of this race and then the pacing as they go through 50s, 100s. What Katie and Ivy, especially some other swimmers in that middle of the pool, what are they trying to maintain as they go through this in the middle of the race? What time are they looking for in those 50s?
Well, Katie McCarthy, again, not wearing the tech suit here today, going up against Ivy Solt. Obviously, they'll both have great swims. And when they're trying to pace themselves to, be able to maintain their speed over the course of 500 yards, easy speed is the phrase that's often used. They got to be able to move across the top of the water fast but relaxed so that they can not burn themselves out, not use too much power at the outset, rely on their technique. Most of these swimmers are experienced enough that they even know their stroke count per length. They're going to know how many strokes they take each length, how fast it is, and some of them will even know how many yards per stroke cycle they take so they can pace off of that and get that signal on their lap counter. So there's a lot of detail work that goes into that easy speed that we talk about. These girls went out in a 56 at the beginning, 156 at the 200, and so they're holding 30 point across the middle. Obviously, they are going to be contenders at the state meet as well. So for some of the swimmers like Ivy and Katie, it'll be a matter of just having a solid race and having a good stroke rate. For others in this heat, it's going to be trying to make the cut, and they're going to turn it on early enough to give themselves a chance.
Well, and in the prelims, Avery Ludke, lane 3 from Chanhassen, Ivy Salt, Katie McCarthy from Prior Lake and Edina. Those three really did separate themselves a bit in this event, which has been typical watching 500s over the years, that we have some swimmers separate out from the pack. Katie McCarthy kind of setting the pace right now, and again, Katie's a senior. She's experienced. She's had great success in this event, and she is just starting to edge slightly ahead of Ivy, but Ivy's kind of maintaining with her here as we are closing in on these swimmers having about 150 yards to go, coming down toward the finish. All three of these swimmers across the middle of the pool right now just really making this look effortless, which of course we know it is not. And we're seeing some signaling here from the counters down at the end. Ivy's got hers flipped upside down, maybe getting a little sign to pick up her pace a little bit. Katie McCarthy, though, just kind of smooth sailing in this race right now.
Frances Muir in lane 7 making a serious move. Put up a 30.4 on her last split. She's actually closed with the other two swimmers in lanes 3 and 4, Avery and Ivy. And this last 100, 125, is going to be very competitive.
So Katie McCarthy again in 5 really looks like she's on a bit of cruise control right now as she's feeling really comfortable coming down with coming in on 50 to go. But Muir, Solt, Ludke all just right across the pool, all pushing each other here to the finish on this one.
You look at Frances Muir's feet for the last 75 yards. They've been all the way out of the water kicking. She's been moving forward for about the past 3 or 4 lengths.
And Frances Muir has pulled herself into that second place spot right now in this championship heat. And Katie McCarthy, she's pushing her teammate right now to the finish. Look at Frances Muir just cruising. 5:10.84 again is our number. 5:10.24. Katie McCarthy, the 4:56, and Frances Muir in that second place spot. What an amazing
28.7 on that last 50. That's impressive.
What a phenomenal swim. And we just went in this championship heat with our top 6 making that state cut, and Erica Weeks with a great swim from Minnetonka just missing that number by a 1400ths of a second. So again, 500 freestyle, and we have got 6 qualifiers coming out of that championship heat. Really great work by these swimmers.
Another great final here at Section 2AA. Multiple state qualifiers, great sense of pace, well coached. They look great.
Katie McCarthy, the 4:56.82 is an All-American consideration time for her. So again, I'm sure we're going to see some great times from Katie and these other swimmers at that state meet at the U of M here coming up in a week.
And now the consolation results from the 500-yard free. Finishing 16th from Minnetonka with 5:26.31, Elizabeth Weeder. In 15th from Chanhassen, 5:23.64, Samantha Lang. In 14th from Chanhassen, 5:22.41, Addie Ross. In 13th from Chaska, at 5:19.45, Courtney Rabine. In 12th from Edina, with a 5:18.25, Olivia Brinkman. In 11th from Prior Lake at 5:15.51, Natalie Kubashek. In 10th place from Edina, 5:14.71, Anya Nimo. In 9th place from Briar Lake, 5:11.19, Izzy Andrachek. From the championship heat, finishing 8th from Eden Prairie with a 5:19.23, Lilia Roberts. In 7th place from Minnetonka at 5:10.38, Erica Weeks. In 6th place from Minnetonka, qualifying for state at 5:08.95, Stella Succi. In 5th place from Minnetonka, state qualifying 5:07.73, Lydia Cameron. In 4th place from Chanhassen, state qualifying 5 minutes and .17, Avery Lidke. In 3rd place from Prior Lake, state qualifying 4:59.56, Ivy Solt. In 2nd place from Edina at 4:58.89, Frances Muir. And finishing first, the Section 2AA champion from Edina with a state qualifying All-American consideration time of 4:56.82, Katie McCarthy. An update on the team scores through that last event. 8th place Jefferson with 28 points. 7th place Eden Prairie with 46. 6th place Chaska with 64. 5th place Chanhassen with 133.5. 4th place Shakopee with 177. 3rd place Prior Lake with 235. 2nd place, Minnetonka with 304. And in 1st place currently, Edina with 332.5.
All right, so we're going to be moving on to the 200 freestyle relay. We've got several teams again that are kind of hovering right around that 140.42 cut time to get to that state qualifying time.
In lane 1, Chaska, Courtney Rabine, Molly Blahowski, Alex Schindler, and Addie Ross. Lane 2, Shakopee, Lexi Tippy, Brooklyn Schumacher, Erica Schroeder, and Ari Zellen. In lane 3, Chanhassen, Mia Francois, Anna Schottler, Jennifer Pearson, and Avery Lidke. In lane 4, Minnetonka, Riley Hewlett, Lily Koval, Erilyn Vogel, and Annabelle Wenzel. In lane 5, Prior Lake, Hallie Nelson, Izzy Andrachek, Natalie Kubashek, and Ivy Solt. In lane 6, Edina, Ella Hall, Anna Schrag, Libby McCarthy, and Katie McCarthy. In lane 7, Eden Prairie, Elizabeth Barton, Maya Bond, Alyssa Lightloff, and Siri Dunn. And in lane 8, Bloomington Jefferson, Anna Sorensen, Claire Briest, Madeline Elbert, and Abby Toe. The state qualifying time is 1:40:42.
All right, 140.42 is our state qualifying time for this 200 freestyle relay. Again, several teams hovering around that time. This is going to be a fun race. All right, here we go. We are off in the 200 freestyle relay. Now, Lloyd talked to us earlier about start and turn on the 50 as an individual event, but Lloyd talked to us about the exchange from swimmer to swimmer as we go through this relay.
Yep, very big deal in a 200 free relay. They'll practice those relay exchanges probably nightly for the last week or two, just for these three exchanges right here, because a matter of a couple of tenths can be the difference between first and fourth, or fourth and eighth. So that relay split time has to be just exactly right.
So we got Edina, Tonka, Prior Lake all within tenths of a second after the first 50. Coming to the 100, Edina's got a little bit larger lead as they make that exchange. How about the order, Lloyd? What are coaches thinking about as they order these swimmers?
Well, given that they've got a lot of options between this meet and the state meet, they may try to do some different things here, try some different swimmers to see what order might work best. The dual meets do provide an opportunity to do some experimenting. Historically, the fastest swimmer would be put last, but that's just history. Sometimes making the relay more competitive and putting that person up front is the best strategy too.
All right, here we go down the stretch. We got Edina and Tonka right now in the top two spots. 3, 4, 5 are all very even across the pool. Again, our time is 1:44.2. Edina is there, Tonka is there, Shakopee is there in third, Chanhassen is there in fourth, Prior Lake is there in fifth. Top 5 teams all coming in under that 140.42. What a race by those teams right there in that 200 free relay.
Yeah, great relay exchanges by all those swimmers. You could tell that they'd been rehearsing that regularly over the last couple of weeks, and that timing of knowing visually, instinctively when that swimmer you're exchanging with is on their last stroke cycle, so you can start making your move, whether it's in front of the wedge on the block or behind the wedge and crossing over top of it. Either way, getting your style down with your teammates is huge for those exchanges. And as we saw with so many teams qualifying, they had that right down to the last detail.
It is amazing to watch these relay exchanges and how few mistakes or errors there are in these exchanges. I cannot think of a race where I've watched one of these relays where we've had swimmers leave early or even late. They are so timed out for those relay exchanges. It really is an impressive thing to watch.
And the officials watch those exchanges closely enough and they're trained in such a way that the benefit of the doubt does go to the swimmer. When they're watching the swimmers come in, their eyes can't be in two places at once. So the way the officials will look at it is they'll watch that swimmer's feet up on the blocks, and as soon as those swimmer's feet are gone, they'll look down at the finish to see if the swimmer in the water, if their hand is on the wall, rather than the other way around, which would be looking down first and then looking up. I mean, it's that close.
And the championship results from the 200-yard free relay. In 8th place, Chaska with a 1:45.10. Courtney Rabine, Molly Blahosky, Alex Schindler, and Addie Ross. In 7th place, Eden Prairie with a 1:44.56. Elizabeth Barton, Maya Bond, Alyssa Lightloff, and Siri Dunn. In 6th place, Bloomington Jefferson with a 144.10. It's Anna Sorensen, Claire Briest, Madeline Elbert, and Abby Toe. In fifth place, Prior Lake with a 1:39.47. That's a state qualifying time. Hallie Nelson, Izzy Andrachek, Natalie Kubacek, and Ivy Solt. In fourth place, Chanhassen with a 1:38.94. That is a state qualifying time. It's Mia Francois, Anna Schottler, Jennifer Pearson, and Avery Lundke. In third place, Shakopee with a 1:38.55. That is a state qualifying time for Lexi Tippy, Brooklyn Schumacher, Erica Schroeder, and Ari Zellen. In second place, with a 1:37.42, Minnetonka, with Riley Hewlett, Lily Koval, Erilyn Vogel, and Annabelle Wenzel. And in first place, with a time of 1:36.92, state qualifying, Edina, with Ella Hall, Anna Schrag, Libby McCarthy, and Katie McCarthy. The Section 2A champions. The next event is Event 10. The 100-yard backstroke. In the consolation heat, in lane 1, Anna Sorensen from Jefferson. Lane 2 from Shakopee, Adriana Gorder. In lane 3 from Prior Lake, Janessa Centers. In lane 4 for Edina, Audrey Peterson. In lane 5 for Edina, Ellen McLeese. In lane 6 for Edina, Sophia Klausman. In lane 7 for Chaska, Molly Blahowski. And in lane 8 for Edina, Lauren Dewing. The state qualifying time in the 100 back is 58.90.
.58.90 is our state qualifying time for this 100-yard backstroke. This will be our consolation heat. All right, we are off. And Lloyd, this is the question I would love to ask you on the backstroke. Just talk to us about the start. It is so different from every other event, of course. What is the goal on that start in this event compared to some of the other ones?
As an in-water start and on your back, it does make it the most challenging. One of the things that is huge in backstroke, of course, is the underwater work. Underwater dolphin kicking is now commonly referred to as the fifth stroke. It's that important. And you'll see the red markers in the pool. Each red marker is measured 15 meters from the other side. So when you're seeing the swimmers go across, they have to resurface before they reach the second marker on the way down, because the 15-meter marks actually cross over each other from wall to wall. It's not the near one, it's the far one. And their heads have to emerge by that time.
All right, we've got a really even race here as we're coming to the wall for this 100 backstroke. We've got three swimmers right in the middle, and it is Peterson from Edina, McLeese from Edina, and Dewing from Edina. All three Edina swimmers actually a tie there for that second
in lane
spot.
One for
right around that
Prairie,
101
Lilia
mark.
Roberts.
So nice job there
lane
by the
2
girls
for
in that
Minnetonka,
consolation
Natalie Hendricks.
heat.
Lane 3 for Shakopee, Amelie Girard. In lane 4 for Minnetonka, Maggie Rhodes. In lane 5 for Minnetonka, Paige Dillon. In lane 6 for Minnetonka, Kendall Schindler. Lane 7 for Chaska, Greta Hansen. And lane 8 for Chaska, Sophie Dahl. Again, the qualifying time is 58:90.
So keep your eyes on the start here for this race and really seeing who comes up, especially lanes 3 through 6 right across the middle.
One of the things the swimmers will measure is how far they can underwater dolphin kick faster than they can swim. That's usually what each individual athlete and their coach will work on so that they get the most out of their underwaters before they start to fatigue and need to start stroking with their arms.
So Gerard, Rhodes, Dylan, Schindler in lanes 3, 4, 5, 6 were all
Coaches,
fairly
your
even in that
attention.
prelim on
Ballots
Wednesday.
for
Right
Coach
now
of
at
the
the
Year
halfway point,
are due
Rhodes
before the start
from
of the
Minnetonka and
400
Paige
relay.
Dillon are even up right at 28 seconds that they went out, and in that first 50, again, 58.90 is the target time for that state qualifier.
Paige Dillon with a big underwater dolphin kick, very fast coming out of that third turn.
And that might have made the difference for Paige Dillon as she is going to get into the wall in that number 1 spot at a 56.97. Great race for her. Maggie Rhodes, 57.65. Those top two making that cut along with Kendall Schindler from Minnetonka at that 58.31. And the 58.95 and fourth from Natalie Hendricks, also from Minnetonka, just 5/100ths off that mark. So the Minnetonka swimmers a sweep there in that 100 backstroke, sending the 3 qualifiers to that state meet next weekend.
That's a big part of that backstroke game right there.
Yeah, you could just see that.
The results from the 100 back in the consolation heat. From Jefferson, finishing 16th with a 104.13, Anna Sorensen. Finishing 15th from Shakopee with a 103.03, Adriana Gorder. In 14th from Chaska with a 102.98, Molly Blahoski. 13th from Edina, a 102.11, Sophia Klausman. In 12th from Briar Lake with a 101.75, Janessa Centers. We have a 10th place tie. First, Ellen McLace from Edina with a 101.57. And also with 101.57, also from Edina, Lauren Dewing. And in 9th place, also from Edina, with a 101.51, Audrey Peterson. Now from the championship heat. Finishing 8th from Chaska with a 101.03, Greta Hansen. In 7th from Chaska with a 1 minute .71, Sophie Dahl. In 6th from Eden Prairie with a 1 minute .12, Lilia Roberts. In 5th place from Shakopee with a 59.13, Amelie Girard. In 4th place from Minnetonka at 58.95, Natalie Hendricks. In 3rd place from Minnetonka with a state qualifying 58.31, Kendall Schindler. In second place, also from Minnetonka, a state qualifying 57.65, Maggie Rhodes. And the Section 2AA champion, finishing first with Minnetonka at 56.97, Paige Dillon. Next event, event 11, the 100-yard breaststroke. In the consolation heat, lane 1 from Prior Lake. Salvi Fresana, lane 2 for Chaska. Kiana Tardia. In lane 3 for Chanhassen, Allie Eisenberg. In lane 4 for Edina, Taylor Thompson. Lane 5 for Jefferson, Claire Breest. Lane 6 for Chaska, Maika Tardia. Lane 7 for Chanhassen, Madison Kennedy. And in lane 8 for Eden Prairie, Alice Stupel. The state qualifying time is 1:07:13.
All right, we are off in the consolation heat of the 100 breaststroke. 1:07:13, our state qualifying time. And Lloyd, just talk to us a little bit about the timing, the kick, the pull, breaststroke. Again, a very different movement from a lot of our other strokes.
Yep, it's one of the sculling strokes with a sculling motion at the front end of the stroke, just like butterfly. The other unique thing about breaststroke, besides the sculling and the timing of that, is that underwater pullout. The underwater pullout in the short course yards format that we're in here with 4 pullouts, one off the start and one off each push. That's a huge part of the game. Obviously, the other thing that they're looking for on the pullout is not just getting distance, but having speed on that breakout. And timing that, just like the underwater dolphin kicking and backstroke, makes a short course yards pullout very important.
So Taylor Thompson, Claire Breest in the middle of the pool. Taylor's Edina, Breest is Jefferson. Really even up here as we come toward the wall, and it is going to be a reach and a touch. And what a tight race right there. Claire Breest just a 1/10 of a second ahead of Taylor Thompson, 1:10:30, 1:10:40. Great race in the middle of the two between those two swimmers. And we will be moving on now to the championship final, where we do have
second heat.
several swimmers again that are right in that neighborhood from their prelim
in lane
times
1
for that
from Eden Prairie.
1:07:13.
Ella Drews.
It'll be exciting to see
in
who's
lane
able
2
to
for
get that mark
Minnetonka,
here in
Michaela
this championship
Kangas.
heat.
In lane 3 for Edina, Ella Hall. In lane 4 for Minnetonka, Riley Hewlett. In lane 5 for Minnetonka, Georgia Jorgensen. In lane 6 for Tonka, Paige Olson. In lane 7 for Shakopee, Olivia Wimberger. And in lane 8 for Edina, Eleanor Hughes. Again, the state qualifying time is 1:07:13.
All right, we are off in this championship heat. Hall, Hewlett, Jorgensen, Olson, lane 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are your 4 swimmers from Wednesday night that were right around that mark of 1:07:13.
Very controlled stroke rate, very powerful breakouts all across the middle of the pool. Everybody's got their timing down just right.
Hall and Hewlett out in just under a 31, and those two continue to lead this championship heat with 25 to go. Ella Hall in lane 3 and Riley Hewlett in lane 4. Really even up here. Ella Hall with a slight edge as we come down, but Riley Hewlett is right there behind her. Ella Hall, though, what a strong finish. She's going to come to the wall in a 104.66. Great swim by her, and it looks like our top 3 swimmers, Ella Hall, Riley Hewlett, and Paige Olson, coming in under that 107.13. Eleanor Hughes of Edina, 107.28, just about a tenth of a second off that number. So another great race in that 100 breaststroke, that 104.66. Ella Hall, very impressive down the stretch there as she closed out that event.
What a tight heat as well. We've got 5 107s up on the board, and that's incredibly tight for a breaststroke race. Everybody within a few tenths of each other. And then, of course, the 2 6s and the 4. But that's a really tight heat.
So as we wait for this, the awards
and now
for
the
100
consolation
breaststroke,
bracket from the
by my tally,
breast.
41, Lloyd,
In 16th
41
place,
state qualifying
Prior Lake
times so
with a
far tonight. Of course, not
1:15:33.
is not
Selby
41 individual
Prasanna.
swimmers. We've had some girls with
15th
multiple
from Chanhassen.
times,
At
but for me, that is
Madison
a
Kennedy.
very impressive number
In 14th
as we watch
from
this
Eden
meet
Prairie
tonight.
with a 114.
And that doesn't even include the 4 divers, so that's quite a
absolutely.
tally. That's 11 swimming events, actually 10 so far. And so when you're averaging four swimmers per individual event qualifying for state, that's a really competitive section.
And
Maika
9
Tardia.
relay qualifiers.
In
Of course,
11th
we have
from
1 to go, but
Chanhassen
9
with a 112.37.
relay qualifiers over 2
Allie
events so far.
Eisenberg.
So just a absolutely
10th from Edina
wonderful
with a
performance tonight so far by
110.40.
all these swimmers.
Taylor Thompson. And in 9th from Jefferson with a 110.30, Claire Breeze. In 8th place, from Minnetonka with 107.95, Michaela Kangas. In 7th place, from Eden Prairie with a 107.87, Ella Drews. In 6th place, from Shakopee with a 107.57, Olivia Wimberger. In 5th place from Minnetonka with a 107.41, Georgia Jorgensen. In 4th place from Edina with a 107.28, Eleanor Hughes. In 3rd place from Minnetonka with a state qualifying 106.76, Paige Olson. Finishing 2nd from Minnetonka with a state qualifying time of 106.02, Kylie Hewlett. And finishing 1st, the champ and qualifier from Section 2AA, a state qualifying 104.66, Ella Hall. Now the team standings. In 8th place, Jefferson at 64 points. 7th place, Eden Prairie at 98. 6th place, Chaska with 121. 5th place, Chanhassen with 171.5. 4th place, Shakopee with 238. 3rd place, Prior Lake with 269. Second place, Edina with 440.5. And in first place currently, Minnetonka with 464. And now, event 12, our last event, the 400-yard freestyle relay, one championship heat.
We are down to our final event of the night. We did have a little shift in the team standings there. We've been talking individual qualifying times. Minnetonka jumping ahead of Edina. I didn't catch the totals, but I think we had a pretty close between those two for those team points that they just announced here at the pool.
Brooklyn Schumacher, Erica Schroeder, Ari Zellen, and Haley Zellen. In lane 3, Prior Lake, Izzy Andrachek, Alex Peterson, Zella Lucas, and Ivy Solt. In lane 4, Chanhassen, Rachel Broadhead, Mia Francois, Jennifer Pearson, and Avery Lidke. In lane 5 for Minnetonka, Erilyn Vogel, Maggie Rhodes, Paige Dillon, and Annabelle Wenzel. In lane 6, Edina, with Audrey Peterson, Libby McCarthy, Katie McCarthy, and Frances Muir. In lane 7, Chaska, Courtney Rabine, Kiana Tardia, Sophie Dahl, and Greta Hansen. And in lane 8, Jefferson, with Catherine Boldenau, Annika Schermack, Mia Murrain, and Madeline Elbert. The state time for this is 3:39:93.
All right, here we go. 400 freestyle relay, final event of the night. It is going to get loud during this race. We have got 5 teams in this event that have a really good shot at hitting that mark of 3:39:93. Shakopee, Prior Lake, Chanhassen, Minnetonka, Edina, all having times hovering right around that in the prelims. Again, 100 free for each of the swimmers that is in the water right now. For Minnetonka, Erilyn Vogel leading off. They're out to an early lead here. Lane 6 from Edina, that's Audrey Peterson, just slightly behind her. And several teams then lined up in that kind of that third place spot as we're coming down here for the first 100.
Brooklyn Schumacher leading off. Shakopee very strong as well over there in lane number 2.
So Tonka out in a 53.37, Edina 53.90. Both of those teams right near each other, and they continue to do that here on the second 100 of this 400 freestyle relay. Minnetonka right now, that is Maggie Rhodes, Edina, Libby McCarthy in the water. We've seen Maggie and Libby have some really impressive individual performances, and they are pulling away a bit from some of the other teams right now, but of course we're just going to be at the halfway point as we get here.
Katie McCarthy stepping up here for that third leg of the Edina relay.
So Tonka in first here for the third leg. That's Paige Dillon. Again, we've seen Paige with some impressive swims, but just keep your eye there on Katie McCarthy, lane 6. Also lane 3, that's the Prior Lake team. That is Zella Lucas making a bit of a move. Shakopee right next to him too, though, and that's Ari Zellen. The Zellen sisters going 3-4 for Shakopee. That is going to likely move them up in this event.
Yeah, Ari Zellen out in a 24-1. That's a really fast split.
Right now, Paige Dillon for Minnetonka, though, has got her team pulling away. She's going to be handing off to Annabelle Wenzel, and Annabelle's going to have a nice advantage here over the rest of the field. But these other 4 teams coming through that we mentioned at the beginning, Shakopee, Edina, Prior Lake, Chanhassen, all really tight here, 2 through 5. Immediately, though, Haley Zellen has just separated a bit from those other three teams right off the start, getting Shakopee moving into that second spot. Haley Zellen is moving right now for Shako. Out in a 24-1-8 for Haley.
Yep, 24-2 over there for Annabelle Wenzel as well.
So Shakopee and Minnetonka moving ahead. Prior Lake, Chanhassen, Edina all right even with each other, but right now it is Chanhassen looking like they're going to grab that third spot. Tonka is in at a 3:28.52. What a swim for that team. And there you have it. We do get 5 teams coming in well under the 3:39.93. What an impressive swim. Tonka 3:28. Shakopee coming 3:30. 3:33 for Chanhassen. And then Edina 3:35. Prior Lake 3:35. Again, the qualifying time 3:39. Really impressive to see that finish from those 5 teams.
Yeah, great relay to close out the meet. Again, more qualifiers from this section. Really a great evening.
So Lloyd, just again, my unofficial tally here as we've been going through 8 individual events, 41 qualifying times, 3 relays, 14 qualifying times in those 3 relays. That is, to me, just absolutely amazing.
Yep, very exciting meet. Obviously, the atmosphere in the room was electric, and you could see it from all the athletes when as soon as they hit the water, they were on fire.
Great crowd tonight. These teams all bring in a huge contingent of fans with them. Great support for this wonderful sport of the girls swim and dive. And, next weekend at the Gene K. Freeman Aquatic Center at the U of M, you're going to see so many of these swimmers that you got to watch tonight competing in that state meet. All the relays, all the individuals, you're going to see those 5 teams that really represented those relay qualifiers with a good number of swimmers, and likely, Lloyd, to see teams like Edina, Minnetonka, Prior Lake, Shakopee, Chanhassen finishing in those top spots for that state meet. I know that's been typical in the past, likely to see that again this year.
Well, that's right, and the other thing that we don't know is how many of the athletes this was a mid-taper meet for them. You know, there are some athletes that were strong enough in this meet that, and not that anything's ever guaranteed, but they were targeting the state meet for their taper, and they're only halfway down in their training volume right now in their taper process of reducing the workload to rest them up for their big moment. There will be a number of the top swimmers here who were preparing for state, and this was a meet along the way, and they've got more in the tank.
And we're likely to see several of these individuals and relay teams with podium finishes, top 3 finishes, top 5 finishes, even in that state meet. When watching this section for these girls, you're really kind of getting to watch a little bit of a mini state meet. Of course, we're going to have other wonderful swimmers and teams from other sections, but this section really is so strong when you see those podium finishes next week at that state event. So we'll see some awards here for this relay. We'll get an update on those team standings. But thank you for tuning in tonight. On behalf of myself and Lloyd, this was a really fun meet to call, and we're really feel really grateful for the audience and fortunate that we're able to offer up this live stream to those of you that weren't able to be here in person tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. It was a pleasure being here. Great working with you tonight, and one of the things we learned from COVID about live streaming and being able to bring the event to everyone's living room, that gets a lot more support and viewership for all family members, including those who aren't here and fans alike who couldn't be here tonight. So that's great.
And just keep your eyes, for those of you that are watching
And the
swimmers
standings
move
in
on.
the
I know there's a
championship
live stream
final
for
of
the
the 400-yard
state
freestyle
meet.
relay.
So just kind of check the
Finishing
Minnesota State
seventh
High
with a
School League for all that
4:07.70
information.
Bloomington
If you're
Jefferson.
going to be able to, or if you're planning to watch the state meet from home as well.
In sixth place at 3:46.13, Eden Prairie. With Lilia Roberts, Alyssa Lightloff, Kara Fogarty, and Ella Drews. In fifth place with a 3:45.15, Chaska. Courtney Rabine, Kiana Tardia, Sophie Dahl, and Greta Hansen. In fourth place with a state qualifying 3:35.06, Edina. With Audrey Peterson, Libby McCarthy, Katie McCarthy, and Frances Muir. In third place with a 3:33.66, Chanhassen. With Rachel Broadhead, Mia Francois, Jennifer Pearson, and Avery Ludke. Finishing second with a state qualifying 3:30.99, Shakopee. With Brooklyn Schumacher, Erica Schroeder, Ari Zellen, and Haley Zellen. And in first place, the Section 2AA champion with a state qualifying score and an All-American consideration at 3:28.52, Minnetonka. With Erilyn Vogel, Maggie Rhodes, Paige Dillon, and Annabelle Wenzel. And now the final team rankings for the Section 2AA champions. In eighth place with 88 points, Jefferson. In seventh place with 114 points, Eden Prairie. In sixth place with 149 points, Chaska. In fifth place with 203.5 points, Chanhassen. In fourth place with 269 points, Prior Lake. In third place with 272 points, Shakopee. The top two teams earn plaques for their efforts. Finishing second with 470.5 points, Edina. And now presenting the champions of Section 2AA with a score of 504, the Minnetonka Skippers. And now, the Section 2AA awards. First, Minnesota State High School League Academic Team Awards. The gold qualifiers of a GPA of 3.75 or above. The gold qualifiers are Chaska at 383, Shakopee at 377, Chanhassen at 379, and Eden Prairie at 384. The silver qualifiers with GPAs of 3.5 to 3.74. First, silver, Minnetonka at 367. Then Edina at 368. And Prior Lake at 372. Now we present the Section 2AA Diving Coach of the Year, John Daly. The Section 2AA Diver of the Year, from Edina, Shansei Karimi. The Section 2AA Assistant Coach of the Year, Justin Haycraft. The Section 2AA Head Coach of the Year, a three-way tie, John Bradley, Katie Haycroft, and Jenny Carlson. And the Section 2AA Swimmer of the Year, from Edina, Katie McCarthy. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and see you at State.